Hello and welcome to a Townhead podcast. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, we're here on a Sunday. It's a bit of a bumper episode, this, with me off on holidays for the past week. Gally with some Ireland commitments. Steph away on holidays. Donald's drunk. And I'm assuming, and Pingu with Chicago duties. We've been unable to get to you over the past week. So to make up for that, myself and Gally will try our best to go through everything. Gally, it's been a long week. It's only when I started listening to our excuses over the past I realised how much we've all managed to pack into a week.
But I like my introduction of being on Ireland duty, and that's going right in the basket there. I'm going to clip that and have that footage and get that t-shirt for myself. Yeah, it's been. I think I haven't been on since before the break, so it's a lot longer.
Wow.
So I missed a couple of the holidays and stuff. So yeah, look, nice to be back. Sunday evening, but look, I'll give you a look here.
Yeah, look, because we haven't been back, we might as well touch over on the two games that we've missed, as well as some transfers in and out of the club, and possibly as well over the past while. It's definitely been a busy period. We'll go all the way back to the first game back after the summer reset there. A 2-0 defeat, first time we conceded home in 8 games, of course. You know, we've lost a little unbeaten record that we had then as well. But I suppose the most disappointing thing was the 2 goals themselves were probably, you know, I think John Daly will look back and say they were very preventable goals.
Yeah, and like, you know, we can talk about the set. You know, it's obviously a cracking free kick. The name escapes me, but the really nice, and particularly the first. Look at both goals.
McMenemy with the free kick.
Yeah, like, you know, if you concede in goals, you've done something wrong somewhere. But it's particularly bad when you've had the corner kick and they've come the whole way out of the corner kick. The transition. Really
on the first goal, that's the most disappointing.
Yeah, and look, young Q, you know, he's come in, looks an absolute, you know, looks like a beast of a young fella playing football. But there's an argument there, could he have tackled him earlier? He's actually got 2 chances to tackle him. The second one he probably doesn't go for, because if he clips him, he's going to be booked.
I think Flano says on the comms that, you know, could he have taken the professional foul out of it? I think they call it these days.
I like knowing John Flanagan, that's probably what he would have done, but that's experience, that's the difference, you know. So would you take the professional foul in the first half? You know, I don't know, but he definitely, he's got to get closer to him earlier as he goes to tone from the ball, from the kick out from the keeper. But that's experience. But I mean, yeah, you're disappointed. The pass is exquisite. I mean, look, it's gone in. If a ball like that behind someone like Zach Johnson, you know it's been caught. He's been caught in the hop. You know,
Patterson, a full tint, it's very hard. You can stop him, like, isn't it?
Exactly, the ball. Like, I mean, that's probably, in fairness, that's probably what Dundalk's been missing all season. That type of pass, that type of kind of. But then again, all the talk of strikers, we probably nobody running in there, right? From the arch, Davis coming to fullback, but. Yeah, look, it's disappointing. It's a great goal from on Waterford's perspective, but yeah, it's disappointing we haven't probably intercepted that, or, you know, kind of put a halt on that earlier. I think someone maybe with, you know, like, you don't want to get into the young man's experience, but I mean, it's something it'll annoy him, and it probably should annoy him. But the only thing about it is, you will say, is that when it happens the next time, you know, he'll probably know that he'll switch into over mode. Then, you know, we probably nail him early on. But look, it's one of them, you know, you're probably more disappointed in that our midfield on the night, and I know we talk about it as well, but our midfield on the night were kind of very jittery, but we had enough chances to get something, you know, like, you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve, I'm not a fan of telling people or saying people, you don't deserve anything. If you conceded 2 goals and you can't score, you don't deserve anything for a football game. But we probably created enough, even if you think of Mountney's chance in the second half as well from the free kick.
Sargent was probably the busier keeper, even though we conceded 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, those little chances, they all seem to happen around the 6-yard box as well. I mean, we haven't had any long range screamers or anything, but it's you know, as a striker or as a forward, you know, you kind of think, you'd hope our strikers would be quicker to the ball than defenders. And on the night they weren't. Waterford were quicker to the ball for those little snap chances. And it's unfortunate, yes, disappointing. Yeah, but you're probably more annoyed on the fact that we haven't hit the back of net at any stage. You know, like a goal from a free kick at the second goal, fair enough. Look, them things happen. The foul has happened outside the box because they're going to get a chance on goal. You know, that's why you obviously go for that foul. You get something against you. But if we're talking about the goals themselves, the first one is a real kicker in the teeth, because that should have been stopped. That's come from us missing a half chance on the far end. And then they've just counter-attacked from the goalkeeper and straight down the field. So that's probably more disappointing than the actual goal being scored itself, how it transpired.
it's hard not to look. We'll talk about the Shamrock Rovers match in a second, but you mentioned it there. We had free kick opportunities. Those free kick opportunities in Tala as well, and you're just thinking, if only Gullen was on the pitch, we'd stand a chance here. But you seen Robbie, shaping up for it, and Sean Keogh had a pop up one as well. You're just thinking, it's in that area as well for him. I was just, when I watched that, I was like, that's exactly who you want on the pitch.
Yeah, and like it's so ironic that you say that, because we sat here for most of the season saying, God, Gullen's not getting into the game. We've got to get him on for someone else. And now an opportunity arises where he would have been absolutely nailed on. And not that Mountney can't hit a free kick or nothing, but it's just those type of moments you think, God, Jamie Gullen.
But I think I added up. I think we must have had about 3 or 4 direct free kicks in that opportunity. And you'd say, he's not going to score every one of them. Of course he's not. But God, he could have got 1. He could have got maybe 2. Could that have got us a point in Tala? Could that have got us back into the game in Oriel Park? Crowd start getting back up. You don't know. Momentum's a strange thing. And I've said it, like we all sit here. I think Steph or maybe Pingu had said a couple of weeks ago, when you're down the bottom of the table, you don't get that. You don't have it. Like it's so rare that you get a team that's going to bounce off momentum. Yes, you get the new manager, a couple of new signings coming in as well. Might get a bit of bounce in a couple of weeks, but when your luck is out, it is out, and that's just. I don't know if it's a mentality thing, but like you say, Jamie Gullen, for that type of free kick, for those type of moments, considering what he done in Tal earlier in the season, it was made for him, and we just didn't have him. And it's that night where you would have loved him to come off the bench and just wallop it in. And if you had to take him on and put him back off again, half injured, it's just one of them. And again, when we talk about signings later on, and it's still an area that really needs looking at. But look, that's just a free kick itself. Yeah, you've got to be. It's just a pity he wasn't in the field for it. But look, that's you live and die by it. Look, they're professional footballers. There has to be more than one free kick taker on the field that's going to be able to have a go at it. So look, that's just where we are. But I suppose we're the only good thing coming out of that game is Drogheda took a bit of hammering.
Sorry, Sean, I called you Niall there. Sorry.
We're coming out of a game where they took Drogheda took a hell of a hammering up in Derry, so you're thinking, okay, we probably got away with one there, but to go to Tala and lose, and then Drogheda picking up a point, it's disaster stations again. You're looking at the gap closing.
Yeah, and again, you're back to that momentum issue. You're back to that thing where everybody around us, there's people around us dropping points, so you're getting kicks in the teeth other place, and then we're not taking advantage of that. And that's what we're having over the last couple of weeks. It's just not. It just doesn't seem to be getting the rub of the green for us. And look, you probably go to Tala and expect to be better, but then when you look at the other results around you, you're just not getting it. It's one goal. You probably would have taken a 1-0 a couple of weeks ago, but when you look at what's happening somewhere else, you think, God, one strike of a ball, one free.
But they weren't great either. That's the real disappointment.
And there's nobody Shelbourne, Rovers, Derry, Waterford, even there's nobody really that's taken the league by the scruff of the neck. It's still there for 2 or 3 teams, I think, and they're a really poor team at the minute. But I mean, in the last 10 games of the season, all hell will break loose, and they'll probably go on a run. But yeah, we just didn't take advantage of what is a probably bang average Shamrock Rovers team at the minute.
I suppose we look at what's come out of the club. We're just going to do a quick overview of everything that's been happening at the moment.
Strap in, folks. There's about 40
this could go all over the place. Just on, I suppose, the goal. I didn't think Shamrock Rovers looked like they were going to really break us down or anything. It's a bit of chaos in the box. Johnny Kenny's in there. Monroe comes out, picks out, tries to bowl out an early ball out to Kiki. Probably would have been smarter, maybe trying to angle a ball down the line. He cuts back inside, gets caught with sandwich in between 2 players, pickpocketed. It's another beautiful ball over from Dylan Watts, kind of cuts out Sean Keogh when he's Faulkner's down the wrong side of the ball, and it comes back down, and it's a good finish by Johnny Kenny. But it was always going to take some sort of a lapse in concentration from us to give them the opportunity, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and again, we're back to this kind of, Kiki's inexperience, but he could have easily dropped the ball back. I know you don't really want to play back. You're playing the way John Daly wants to play. You don't want to go back at the ball, but he could have been back. I can't remember who was coming out of left back at the time, but he could have been back if he did just seen it. But he's obviously tried to skip past one and got caught. could you let it beat him a little bit earlier and maybe took the ball instead of letting the ball come to him, maybe a bit more space? But look, the ball still has to get it. It's a cracking pass. I mean, even if they've lost the ball into the box is second to none. But again, we're a little bit asleep in the box. Nobody's picking up Kenny. And is there an argument the keeper comes out a little bit quicker? In hindsight, maybe, but at the time, if that happens every ground in the league, I don't think a goalkeeper comes out any faster than he does. But yeah, it's a little bit of inexperience. I think he showed a lot of faith in him, to put him straight in against, I don't know how many appearances he made for Shelbourne's first team this year. I know he's well known in the 20s league, but to put him straight in against Rovers, John Daly obviously has a lot of faith in him, and he does look a really exciting footballer. I know when he signed, there's a lot of discussion on Twitter whether it should have been a permanent move. A lot of Shelbourne fans seem to think he was a very good prospect, but obviously the way Damien Duff plays, maybe I don't know if it suits him. But look, it's a mistake, and we've been punished. And we go back to this sitting relegation zone or that kind of area where we are in the league. You will get punished for stuff like that. If you're sitting top of the league, you won't get punished. If that's the other way around, we don't take advantage of that at all. We probably hold up the ball. We don't play the first pass in when it's broken down from a Kiki's mistake. Yeah. We probably won't try and pass the ball into the back net 3 or 4 times before we get into the box. Whereas Rovers just went direct. They just saw an opportunity. And like you say, they didn't, it's not that they didn't deserve it. If you score a goal, you deserve to win the game. But they haven't really worked that well up until then. And even after it, it's a pretty poor Rovers team. They haven't really gone and dominated the game. They haven't really kind of taken advantage of being 1-0.
And the last 10 minutes, they dropped so far deep. You look at, I suppose, Elliott's his chance at the back post that the keeper just about saved. You'll probably think Ryan O'Kane would like to do better with his chance then as well. Yeah. We're piling under the pressure, and they've dropped way, way back. Previous Shamrock Rovers teams would have just gone for the kill and won that game 2-3-0 even. As soon as another team started press, but they definitely dropped back, and it's probably unfortunate. As I say, we're trying to do a quick overview over the past few days in Oriel Park. So we knew Bradley was going, we knew McGuckin was going, we knew Scott Hyatt had gone, and Shelby had already been released by the club as well. The Zach Johnson one, it all bit us hard. Don't fall in love with a lone player. They always say. We've done it with Adjoran.
I think Danny O'Connell had something like that up on Twitter the other day, and that is it. I mean, that is it. There's it's like a poem. There's certain players that come into your life, and he kind of flew in under the radar. We didn't really kind of come in as a very late signing, but I mean, look, you can't really blame anybody. Like, I don't know if he's gone back into the Sunderland team. He definitely seems to be getting a run at it, or maybe someone higher up in the League One. Maybe he's looking for him, but he's been sensational. And when you lose him, Bradshaw, Louis Annelsey, Andy Boyle can be in and out. It's difficult. You probably can replace him, but I think that kind of, when he came into the team, he was straight in. Like, there was no like that. He was our first choice centre back from the minute he set foot on the pitch, in my opinion. And I know he's missed 1 or 2 games, but he was sensational. And look, it's been a short time, but I think it'll be one of those. It's almost Michael Hector-esque. I think he'll go back and he will be top class. Like, there is no doubt. If he doesn't make it you're talking championship level easily, and then if you get a decent set, similar to what Jimmy done. I know Jimmy done wasn't
physically, though, he looks built and ready for it, a bit like Michael Hector that time as well, like you say.
Absolutely. And he's still only 19, is he? He's 19, 20. Like, a lot of maturity to do, but I mean, he's definitely all there. I mean, we said it, I think in the third or fourth game, he was captain material. I mean, that's the level. You'd be looking him down. If he had been here for a long term, he was definitely a future captain. Him, even Bradshaw there as well. Bradshaw's a big miss. And you've also lost Scott High early in the season as well. The injury's gone back. It's full pedal on now to try and get signings in. I don't know how many more we're going to get. Now, look, John Daly hasn't hung about. He's done the necessary work. I think young McGill, he seems to know from the Heart setup, the academy over there. So look, he's probably done his homework on these boys. I don't think it's going to be a case of the way Stevie O'Donnell had a couple of loans in at the last minute. He's hit the ground early here. He's got them in early. He obviously knows what he wants to do with them. I think a Kiki could be a really good signing from Shells. I think they might rue that one. I think that could be an issue for Shells down the line.
And at least Hayden can't score against us in a loud derby.
This is it. It's again another player that's a coup probably, because I would have assumed that Kevin Doherty might have wanted to get him back. I don't know, but I did hear another. I don't know if it was Waterford. I remember another team looking for him in the league. But yeah, look, it's Sean Daly sold him Oriel Park, and that's where we are in the league. It's to get players like that, especially with League of Ireland experience. We got them in there. We're not taking just random loan signings that are available because they're on the books of a decent club over in England. And look, let's give them the benefit of it. Look, they're only one game in. I mean, let's give them. You'll be talking to the end of the season before you can rate these boys. But I think it's all positive. The fact that it's been done quick and early.
And Faulkner's already come in as well. Obviously,
exactly.
Started against Shamrock Rovers at centre back beside Johnson, and Norman Garbett, who came on as a substitute in that game, was obviously the other new player that we've had in as well. In that, I suppose we got two centre backs, probably two midfielders. Probably three midfielders in Scott McGill and Hakiki, probably a bit more attacking. What's still missing? I'm looking at us releasing a keeper, but we've no keeper signed, and still no forward option. Even though we've lost McGuckin, are we still looking at two possible?
I'd probably be surprised at a goalkeeper, because I think Monroe Malloy, like Frank had said, I would have fancied Malloy to keep a spot. I was surprised when Monroe went back in. I don't see us with Peter Cherry there as well. I don't know. Look, if the wages allow it, they'll absolutely go for a goalkeeper. Because Monroe, if he's injured, I don't think Malloy done himself any harm. But a striker has to be like, yes, you don't want to concede goals. You want your back line to be strong, but we're not scoring, and that's a real problem. And I'd be surprised if we don't get someone in. I'd love to get someone in this League of Ireland experience. I said it. I don't know what the list is off the top of my head, whoever's top goal scorer in the first division is, but someone who's in form, someone who's not sitting on the bench coming back from an injury or sitting with the reserve, someone who's in form and wants to come up and play in the Premier Division. I can't really see past that. I mean, we haven't really been linked with anybody of a striking nature. I know there's the guy up the north, his name escapes me at the minute, but I don't really see he's been linked with anybody, and that's worrying. I don't think we can go with what we have. There's just not enough goals in us. Yes, there's talent there,
especially if Dundalk gets injured again.
Exactly, yeah, and they haven't got that momentum of goals. It'd be different if Owen Kenny was coming in and scoring a goal every 2 games or something like that, but we're not, and that's a real challenge now. Unless he changed it up completely and goes with a different type of, like a Ryan Kane and a false 9, Hakiki, and I don't know, but I don't see us doing that. I think we're going to need a centre. John Daly was a top class centre forward in the SPFL. He knows what he's looking for. If he can get a replica of something like himself, there's got to be somebody out there. I still say first division is where to look, because if it's going to be very difficult to get somebody who's got Premier Division experience to come and play for us, unless they're really badly stuck for game time at their club. But I haven't seen us linked to anybody, which is worrying. But I do think we will. I'd be very surprised if we go through this next couple of days and not have a striker in. I'd be really surprised. I don't think we won't be for the one to try in, because it's pure obvious. It's so obvious we need one, because that's probably all that's missing. I'd rather spend the extra money on a top class striker than get another goalkeeper in.
But talk of Nathan Shepherd, I suppose, not have been attached to a club is always there. Who's a free agent.
Well, I mean, we'd obviously make an exception for Nathan.
We also don't want to hang around tonight just because there's an important documentary coming on RT tonight about Irish football. So I presume everyone will kind of want to join in on that. But it's come up in a question here already tonight from Ryan Dillon. It's probably the talk of the town as soon as I came back. I've been asked 3 or 4 times, any update on Archie Davis, what's happening there? I'm from what I understand, I think the club thought that the offers that came in initially for kind of 70, 75k was too low for him. But I did get the opinion that if it was more than that, perhaps they might sell. And you're probably also thinking, well, if it's in around the 80k mark, that's what you get for coming second in this league.
Yeah.
We ain't coming second in this league. So I suppose you're stuck in that conundrum. Do you cash out now, or do you let him go for free at the end? And how much is he worth till the end of the season?
I think Dundalk if we were maybe challenging for a top 4 fight, I could understand not keeping him. But at this stage now, a player that's come in and give us all, I think the money end of it, like you say, 80 grand is a lot of money. I don't know how far it's stretching in wages, but I mean, like you say,
and John Mountney slips straight back into right back then.
Yeah, and you've got young Kyo could possibly look at there as well. And we've got some of the 19s. I think for where we are now, I don't, because if it was going for free, I'd say no. You can stay where we are. But if there's money involved and it's that kind of money, and you're hearing it is that type of money, I would go. It's not that you're selling him. You're just saying, look, at best of luck. Thanks for everything. You're not going to be able to keep him. He's like, it's either now or December. Like, if Stephen Kenny's looking for you at Pats, you know you're a decent footballer. And I know he's not going to go there. He's going to go over the water, but you know you're on a higher echelon of player there. And I think we should, as probably poor as it sounds, we have to cash in on them, because we said it for years, and many players have we not cashed in on going over the wall.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we got to take advantages when it's there. I think if the offers are around 70, 75 for an extra couple of €1,000, I think somebody will pay it.
I think it's 80 or more. Yeah, it's 80 or more is what I'm hearing.
And the talk is it will be done. I think he is. It's only a matter of time, I think, from if you believe the rumours. But I would absolutely, John Mount, you can fill in, because where we are, I think it could be money that could be spent possibly on a good striker's wages. I don't know, but I don't know what Brian Hainscough, you know, whoever's doing the finance up there, want to do with it. But Daly won't want, nobody want to let him go. But I mean, when the money is there and you're going to lose him at the end of the year anyway, I like, and the worrying thing is you might lose him to a Rovers, you might lose him to a Pats. You don't want to come back to haunt you. But yeah, I would personally, I take it and I'd snap the hand off and not thank him, because he's been, for someone who I hammered the first game he ever played, I absolutely destroyed him. I'll never forgive myself for it, but he's been sensational. But you can't, you know, he's on a different level. I think he's on his day, he's the best right back in the league. And so, like, where the League One, Championship maybe, definitely League One, 100%. But yeah, look, I would absolutely, I think it's great to have him there, but I think you gotta take the money and run with it, I think, at this stage.
There's a couple of rumours also about Hayden Muller possibly come back to England as well. Is that just maybe we could have other central midfield options now that he's brought in, and perhaps it's just strange because, you know, Hayden kind of started getting more appearances than ever over the past year. Since John came in, he's been really giving him a chance. But is it just we've got one too many numbers there and we need to free up something to, like you say, to make an opportunity for someone else? Yeah,
and he said, like, we've also signed, you know, like you say, we've signed 2 or 3 midfielders as well. So I think there's probably 1 or 2 players that they're not going to be cast aside, but there's probably 1 or 2 that's not going to play as much. And I think Muller could be one of them. And if there's a chance for him to go back, now look, he's a great utility player. He can probably play anywhere, you know, apart from striker, unless he can. Look, everybody's keeping a secret, but he's probably played everywhere for Dundalk. And look, again, probably didn't hit the ground running. He was kind of competing at right full with Archie Davis at the start. But yeah, another player that, look, he probably might want to go because he mightn't be playing. But yeah, like Ryan says, like, I mean, he's probably played better on the minutes that he's had this year than overall last year. So it's one of them that
perhaps John Daly just being honest with him, though, that, you know, he's looking at other options, and if something come in, you know, there's no point in a player sitting there for another 6 months and not playing.
That's the manager's prerogative. I mean, look, if John Daly wants to do something here and he wants to make his mark, then he's perfectly entitled to say to the player, look, it's not going to work for you here. We're going to try and find you somewhere else, and that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with Ryan. When he's in, he's been really good, especially at CDM. The couple of things he's played, I think he's been excellent. Yeah, but
if there was an opportunity, I'd probably keep him myself, because I just think he gets the
at this stage now. Apart from Archie Davis, I purposely letting anybody go at the minute, because I think Dundalk have been seriously unlucky with injuries, key players missing, and a couple of sending offs there can cost you a couple of games as well. So, you know, if he's willing to stay and battle out, absolutely, no, keep him where he is. It's a couple of weeks left, a couple of games left the season. No, keep him where he is, absolutely.
As you said,
unless somebody wants to pay 80 grand from.
Yeah, of course. We said this would be a quick fire one. Just, you know, how important do you feel Friday's fixture now in Oriel against Drogheda is?
Well, look, I mean, even if we are running away with the league, it's still a massive game. But yeah, look, it's really cliche, and you know, you've obviously got the games coming up as well. But, like, you know, it's cup final stuff now. Every game for the next couple of weeks, you got to start getting points on the board. Like you said a minute ago, you know, we've gotten back on the end of dodgy results. We could have got something out of, and then other teams around us have dropped. So you got to take advantage of those games when they're there now, especially when we're playing. You know, at Dundalk, like, it's a long time since we've had an absolute cracker, you know, like of a top game, you know, especially with Rovers and Drogheda games. But
people say 6 pointers, but this really is one, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And you can use all the, like, I was trying not to use all the cliches going, but that's what it is. And, like, you know, when you look at the fixtures as well, you've got them, I think, is it 2 weeks later or a week later for the cup?
You've got a week after it's back in the cup, yeah.
It's a nice setup for the cup as well, but I mean, it's points on the board now. Forget, like, the cup's great. Cup run, you'd love to get the Aviva, but it's points on the board now, because there's no point going winning the cup playing first division next season. No. Do you know what I mean? You got to go get your points on the board, and they got to be up for. I think the new players, it could be exciting to watch the new players at Oriel Park and a loud derby.
What a way for the new guys to settle in as well, get used to the atmosphere.
If they didn't settle in Talon Rovers, they'll definitely settle in after Oriel Park on Friday night, and definitely know what it's all about. And it could be a payoff game for them. Now, it could be a disaster, but I think the way John Daly has them ready to go, with the coaching staff and everybody, I do think they'll have them up for this game. And you'd be expecting, it's a long time since I said it, but you'd be expecting 3 points in Oriel Park on Friday night. I would expect 3 points. I'm going to go for score prediction on the Mad Sunday night.
Go on.
I'm going to go for 2-0.
I'll go my 1-0 then, will I? The usual. The usual. As I said, look, we just wanted to knock out something real quick talk about the previous games we've had, some of the new arrivals. We'll back to normal service will resume as always on Friday, but just when people wake up for the old work tomorrow or whatever, you have something to listen to at least, or you're out your run tomorrow.
Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. We'll throw everyone out. Gally, cheers for jumping on. As I said, we'll get back to the usual show next week. And until then, come on, turn.